noticed them too? I've been watching them for a long time. Not that I've overheard anything useful. Guess it's just my luck.
Well, actually, they seem to get information a bit slower than the Knights of Favonius. So they usually end up discussing stuff that hasn't been secret in a long time.
Have you guys ever wondered why they don't just go home? Their mission's gotta be...
Maybe their names got skipped over on the mission roster, so they never got new orders. That's happened to me before.
I suppose, but your experiences tend to be quite unique. It's possible the Fatui stationed them here long-term to keep an eye on things. Or maybe they volunteered for this position because they don't want to go back.
Either way, we should have Nicole take this tent down. It's making Paimon think we're gonna have to fight someone.
I guess you're right. We don't want people getting their hopes up.
Some food at Good Hunter. But then, how do I even put this? The sweet madame and sticky honey roast we ordered came to life.
Sorry, what?
That's right. I managed to catch the sweet madame earlier. Come on, let's wrangle this thing so we can head back and eat. Wait, what? Uh-oh. What is it? More pigeons and forest boars! The rest of our lunch is making a break for it!
Good afternoon, traveler. I didn't expect the honor of witnessing your harmonizing talents here in Mondstadt. Both, actually. A lady calling herself a mage asked me to come manage her flower shop. At about the same time, the Cat's Tail commissioned me to create a new fragrance for their establishment. Ending today's busy schedule with a drink crafted by you in person is truly a wonderful reward. I have faith in your choice.
Care to give this a try, Miss Emily?
Your artistry is truly a pleasure to watch. This tastes like a local variant of a Lumideuse Twilight. Am I right? The gentle and elegant taste, with its distinct layers combined with a hint of Mondstadt's characteristic scent, offers quite a welcoming flavor, all the while avoiding potentially discordant aromas. Though in reality, there's no need for you to be so conservative. I have quite a high tolerance for flavors that stray outside the boundaries. Your drink was nice, but it would be perfect if you could make one with a little more depth. A cocktail that shows off your unique understanding and enhances my impression of Mondstadt. If you need time to mull things over, perhaps you might find inspiration in a little light conversation? They're part of my reward from the flower shop owner. Important ingredients for making perfumes. Thanks to these, I was able to complete my commission for the Cat's Tail. I studied Mondstadt's Cecilia flowers many years ago. In fact, the fragrance of Cecilia in certain fields has become synonymous with Mondstadt itself. However, this is a special case. Some cats are quite averse to the scent of Cecilia, and we need to be particularly mindful of their preferences. Windwheel aster. The various parts of the windwheel aster plant can be ground into a powder to extract their essences. I then blended the scents from its petals and leaves. The result carries the intoxicating sweetness of mead, while still emphasizing the fresh notes contained within the flower's stems and leaves. I just took it for a little trial run at the Cat's Tail, and the cats seemed to really like it, while the clients themselves found it comforting and invigorating. Extracting exquisite fragrances from ordinary overlooked ingredients? Oh, that's what truly brings me joy. Thank you for asking. It's been going well, though this trip when I first got here, I was relying on a copy of An Overview of Aromatic Substances and the Human Senses. To my surprise, my trial fragrance, which used valberry as the primary note, proved far too sweet in the context of a tavern, relaxing people so much that they ended up feeling dry. Let's just say that sweetness isn't always a case of the more the merrier. Even in daily life, I rarely eat sweet food, and I try to avoid fruits like berries that have a high sugar content. In the end, I completely eliminated valberry as an ingredient and turned instead to windwheel aster. With some success, I might add. It really is. A while earlier, I watched a whole run of fair weather clouds float by. Fluffy and in such conditions, one sense of smell is heightened. When scents are blended well, they naturally combine with the ambient context, leaving particularly powerful impressions. It seems something similar is true for mixology. As long as you choose a base of appropriate strength, the various flavors, when mixed properly, all the ingredients work as one to create a most wonderful symphony for your taste buds. Yes, that's it. Now I think about it, layering distinct flavors doesn't really suit my personal preferences. Usually, after work my friends from the Maison Gardiennage sometimes treat me to a few drinks. If it's before a holiday and my friends are in high spirits, I sometimes order a small glass of sparkling. There was an officer named Terena who used to treat me to aged Corte wine. But since she was transferred to the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol, we haven't had the chance. In the world of science, high-proof alcohol is a widely used solvent. I've grown well accustomed to the smell of it by now. Besides, when I'm slightly tipsy, my state of mind changes, which in turn alters my approach to... So I don't mind drinks with just a little bit of alcohol, but I don't... Just from our brief chat, perhaps you possess a natural talent for this.
Here you go. A new and improved Emily-inspired Gloomy Dew's Twilight. I haven't come up with a name for it yet.
The colors are cooler and more refreshing, and the fragrance is delightfully subtle to match. Are these bright specks on the surface the crushed petals and leaves of windwheel asters? I'm sure it must taste wonderful. Let me try. In the language of flowers, the windwheel aster represents the visible winds. Your cocktail not only captures their form, but also the fragrance they carry. Therefore, I suggest you call this drink Windborne Bouquet. The winds and clouds of Mondstadt swirl together in the glass, leaving behind enchanting traces of fragrance. Really? Perhaps it's just a habit of my profession. I'm glad you like. Now it's time to slowly savor this masterpiece. Thank you so much. This trip to Mondstadt has been so rewarding. This is the most memorable cocktail I've ever had. Once I get back to Fontaine, I will attempt to recreate this moment as both a fragrance and a perfume. Once I've perfected the recipes, I hope you'll do me the honor of being the... Until then, I look forward to seeing you in the court...
So you're looking after the drink stand now. If I'd known sooner, I would have stopped by this morning. I've got to say, I'm getting curious. I've heard a lot about your mixology skills. I wonder what kinds of drinks you can mix with the ingredients Glenfiddich has prepared. I don't have much of a choice. It's just one thing after another right now. First off, the Knights of Favonius annual combat assessment is coming up. And this year, the standards are higher than ever. As the captain of the reconnaissance company, I have to lead by example. At the very least, I need to rank as one of the top. So, I've been intensifying my training lately. Being a descendant of sinners means I have to work hard to maintain my position. I'll have you know. Anyway, on top of all that, my duel with Miss Clorand required a lot of focus and energy. Learning how to turn defense into attack and seize the initiative when facing a combined assault from sword and musket. Even now, I'm still chewing through the details. But in the end, the exchange went well, and both parties learned a great... Oh, I sure could. Anything that'll perk me up would be welcome.
One twinkling starlight for Captain Eula. Hope you like it.
Judging by your confident tone, I'm certain I will. Not bad. Sweet and tingly, with a delightful airiness. I suddenly feel full of vim and vigor. But just one glass doesn't quite scratch the itch. How about something with a bit more bite? Don't hold back. You don't need to worry about putting me on the floor with nothing but a couple of drinks. Works for me. The first company hasn't assigned me any paperwork for tonight, so I'm free to catch up and try your new creations at my... If you want to know what I've been eating recently, I'd better start by mentioning the logistics companies. They launched a diet improvement initiative and started distributing a form of standardized canned food. In the past, we only had dry rations. Every mealtime we had to set up pots and campfires, roll dice to choose a cook, and take turns standing guard. Now we just need to bring our standard field rations, comprising of 5 cans and 9 paper packages. We can heat the cans by the campfire, and then we're ready to eat. You did say, sounds like, right? Our canned food supplier The problem is, in order to meet preservation standards, they have to... The vice captain of the 5th company, who has a somewhat dry sense of humor, went so far as to say, this food's bad enough to bring down the wrath of Lee. In any case, after eating it for a week, my taste buds have gone completely numb. You can hardly blame the logistics company. After all, it is hard to please everyone. Of course, having fresh meals prepared in camp by a Yes, I have. For a while, the situation there was difficult. A gang of outlaw engineers was to make matters worse. Several veteran knights who had been stationed at Dorman Port were transferred to my squad, and they weren't happy to be taking orders from. Leading them on this mission was quite eventful. It took 3 weeks of stealth operations in the snow, with no fires to keep us warm. Those veteran knights faced the bitter cold and were almost taken down by the enemy's smuggled battle mechs. Fortunately, the battle went our way, and they had no choice but to acknowledge my abilities. Me? I'm completely fine. But it was mentally tiring for sure. But fortunately, the operation wore them down far more. If any new recruits try to make my life difficult, I'll just have my veterans give them a few friendly pointers. That's right. The merchant I got it from called it Romaritime flower fruit extract. It has a very unique smell. Oh, it's a in that book Miss Magistus lent me. The Blade Dancer, 20 years on, it says. After a duel, a Fontanian swordsman will politely invite their defeated to properly play host to Miss Clorand. I searched for quite some time to locate a rare goods merchant in Dorman. But Amber said something that makes a lot of sense. She said that even if this custom doesn't really exist. Besides, who doesn't like trying new things, right? When I gave it to her at our post-training banquet, Miss Clorand really did. Oh my. To be honest, before we crossed swords, Miss Clorand's combat style comes from the mysterious Marechaussee hunters. In the library, there are some old Fontanian newspapers. A more recent newspaper claimed that Miss Clorand was an orphan from an underwater kingdom, and that before battle she would perform rituals inviting spirits to possess her sword. Certainly, from my own experiences, Miss Clorand's abilities more than match those descriptions. Incorporating elements of swordsmanship into a commemorative cocktail at a time like this sounds nice, but... that... That's right. You really know your stuff. I doubt there's anyone else in all of Tevat who could... There's no need to make it sound so fancy. It's just an aristocratic variant of Favon... Firewater. In recent years, firewaters gained popularity the world over. Following in the wake of prosperous... You really are good. Why don't we try replacing the fruit wine with firewater? As for the alcohol content, that's not a problem. Plenty of the expedition team may have drunk themselves senseless with... Brilliant! I'm looking forward to seeing how you...
Here's your all-new Seafoam Sword Song, mixed to meet your personal preferences.
Oh my! What beautiful colors! And you even added my romaritime flower fruit. The aroma is perfect, and I can smell the alcohol, but it doesn't Give me a moment to come up with the right words. I know it's unbecoming of a lady, and but I'm sorry. This is... can you mix me another? Whatever. I feel fantastic. This cocktail. I think I'm gonna head home and get some sleep. Don't worry about me. This is the happiest tipsy I've been in years. I'm still far from being drunk. By the time I've written up those reports for my exchange with Miss Clarand, I'll have been on duty for 3 months straight. Jean, the acting grandmaster. I won't be forgetting this injustice in a hurry. You mark my words.
All the light shines bright. What?
Lofty wisdom will show us the way!
Behold the dawn!
Surge! Divine light, shield them! Like the dust!
Light compels you!
Rain. The sky's clear, the glazed moon shines!
You got this!
Bring it!
Behold the dawn!
Lofty wisdom will show us the way! Without further ado!
Be gone, shadow of dawn!
Of the valley!
All the light shines bright! Behold the dawn!
The sky's clear, the glazed moon shines! Without further ado!
You got this!
Foolish! Merciless. Witness the power of the flame. Paradigm shift. Surge. Annihilate. Rain outlines your fate. Let me weave you fearless. Surge. Mine to wield. The show begins. Merciless. Another star goes out. No, my sword. Extinguish. Rain outlines your fate. Witness fearless. Shower me with the